This is where I want to see a lieutenant governor have the cojones to stop everything that's going on down there in South Texas at the border and make a difference. Make it where Texans' voices are being heard and not lent deaf ears like Dan Patrick and Abbott
Yeah.
continue to do.
Yeah. You know, when I say I hate somebody, I'm talking about in a biblical sense, right? I'm at enmity with them, right? That's the biblical word. It's not like the American hate, like the opposite of love. It's so I'm at enmity with Dan Patrick, right? Because he says things like Abbott is the last word when it comes to COVID, you know, which is absolutely horrible to say. He's also just follows Abbott with the border, right? So
Right.
if I was lieutenant governor right now, I would be having press releases exposing Abbott. That's what Dan Patrick should be doing. He's like, hey, this is what he's doing. That's immoral. It's wrong. He's acting like he's doing something and he's not, right? He needs to be the people's advocate. He's not the people's advocate. He's Abbott's advocate. And so is guys like, you know, Jeff Leach and more of the deep state stuff that we see all the time, right? But with the border, I mean, we need to have good, strong, we don't even actually need any more bills or laws. We just need to protect our border, right? We have the authority to do it. I mean, we want the federal government to do it because then it doesn't cost us any money, right? But if they're not going to do it, we have the resources to do it. We should just do
Absolutely.
it. So, you know, and we're doing the opposite of that right now. We're actually helping people cross, right?
Yeah.
And I have friends whose sons are in the down there. And, you know, if somebody comes over with a 10-year-old girl or a 10-year-old boy, they help them and they pull them over and they send them to another state. And to me, it's just all part of the sex trafficking, right? It's just, it's so bad, but it runs along with the spirit of the government that we have in place right now, where, you know, we keep the kids in foster care, right? They make it so difficult for kids to get adopted, right? They don't want to make abortion illegal. They don't want to do anything about us being the hub of, you know, sex trafficking, right? In Texas. You know, so there's this theme that runs through that I think Dan Patrick and Abbott know a lot more and go along with a lot more than what they let on and what the average Republican thinks. Like they think Dan Patrick's just a good guy, right? Like Jimmy Carter, maybe, you know, he's a good guy. And Abbott's a good guy too, you know, like he's sweet. He's a sweet guy, right? But no,
Joe Biden was a hardworking man.
They know this stuff. They know what's going on, and they lie to us and tell us like, "Yeah, hey, good thing I'm here and I'm taking care of this border issue," but they're not. So
you make a really good point on that, because we've actually watched the videos from Mike Miller down there on the border where he's in confrontation with our own National Guard that's actually keying them and signaling when to cross and how to get across, and then showing when the cameras cue them to actually get the tears going. And then when they say cut, you're off camera, then they're like, all right, good job, and you can walk on by. And when you start seeing some of that real footage of what's really happening there, besides that little 30-second tear-jerking poor pitiful me scripted stuff, but it's sad because we sit here and think that it's going to be something that our National Guard or we can just call them and they'll go down there. But when they're on the take, from what it looks like too,
right,
who the heck do you trust? Because, you know, we would like for them to come down here and do it, but when their orders are something else, you know,
I mean, who's holding them in checks and balances, right? I mean, they're holding the highest positions in Texas. Who's holding them in checks and balances? I mean, the people can only do so much. I mean,
we can't trust any of them.